Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in Lominsa for the level 80 job quests of a dancer, the last one for this job, and these level 80 quests typically are very short. So, Nashmeira, what's up? Rising to the occasion. Well, that isn't Desiree. What a delightful surprise, and just look at that posture and poise. I can see you have not neglected your training one bit since we last parted. As for us, Troupe Falsiam continues to tour Eorzea, bringing hope to the dejected and downtrodden. Whenever and wherever Totentanz threatens to rear its ugly head, be aware to cast out the shadows. With tales of our performances spreading across the realm, we've had no small number of aspiring dancers knocking at our door. Training was consuming nearly all my waking hours, but recently Ranaa has stepped in to help shoulder the burden. Truly, I'd be lost without her. And what of you, Desiree? Have you had any noteworthy performances since last we met? I traveled to and from a distant world. And I thought our voyage to distant shores is a long one. I see you've had yourself quite an adventure, though I confess the full import of your tale is quite beyond my comprehension. Still, this bounty hunter you befriended put you in quite a predicament, didn't he? It reminds me of another troublemaker I used to know. Me? A troublemaker? I may have been immature, but I only had my friend's best interests at heart. Isn't that right, Desiree? And besides, it sounds like even this bounty hunter came around in the end. He did. Indeed. There is a certain something about you, Desiree. Something that brings out the best in those whose lives you touch. And Ranaa here is a prime example. The hot-headed girl I once knew has come into her own as a dancer. A woman and a leader of her peers. Perhaps it's finally time that... Yes, I'm sure of it. Desiree, Ranaa, there's a dilemma that has been weighing heavily on me of late. Pray accompany me out of the city to La Noscia. I would discuss matters further with you away from the crowds. Huh. Let's see. Over and over, Mrs. Nashmeira promised me no more secrets, but I suppose she just can't help herself sometimes. Desiree, Ranaa, forgive me for not sharing the news with you too sooner. As fortune would have it, Troupe Falsiam has been invited to perform at the Musicosa in Kugane, and our patrons are willing to pay a premium for our services. The Musicosa? You mean I could dance on the same stage that has hosted some of the most renowned artists in all the Far East? Someone pinch me. When do we leave? As soon as we are able, and therein lies my dilemma. The threat of a Totentanz still looms over Eorzea, and I have a duty to train the next generation of dancers to carry on Troupe Falsiam's mission. I cannot very well abandon these shores while my life's work remains undone, and so I turn to you. Buen amigo, you have blossomed into a fine dancer and a capable leader. I would have you assume my role as principal and oversee Troupe Falsiam's tour of Kugane. Mistress Nashmeira, what are you saying? It is the only practical solution. You would travel to Kugane to share our art with our friends in the Far East, and I could remain here to train our new recruits, and deliver the people of Eorzea from the throes of the Totentanz. But I'm not ready for this! There's still so much I must learn! You told me as much just moons ago! And I've seen you come far since then. No one is a born leader, and doubtless it will be a struggle at first. But you are every bit as prepared for this role as I was the day I inherited it. I would not make this offer if I did not believe this with all my heart. And yet, I cannot, and will not, force the position upon you. But at the very least, pray, think upon it for a while. Me? Leader and principal of Troupe Falsiam? I do believe Mrs. Nashmeira's lost her wits. Why, I still remember the days I would trip over my own 2 feet every time I took a stage. And yet, she seems intent on remaining here in Eorzea. If I refuse, the curtains will fall on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase our art on the Far East's biggest stage. And yet, were I to go and fail spectacularly... I swear my mind is going in circles. Whatever should I do, Desiree? It's not like me to brood and fret like this. Then stop brooding. I suppose you're right. I've always been the type to act before I think. If thinking about my problem is getting me nowhere, perhaps I should just start moving and see where the moment takes me. Dance with me, Desiree. Show me through your emotions all you've learned in your travels, and help me to clear the shadows of doubt from my mind. A stunning view, no sign of onlookers from moms. Yes, this place should serve nicely for a private performance. We dance today not for admiring crowds. Our only audience is each other. So face me, Desiree. I would look upon your movements in all their glory, and let you inspire me to greater heights. Oh, thank you, Desiree. That was simply exhilarating. From the first step, I couldn't take my eyes off you. Before I knew it, I had forgotten myself, my worries carried off by the wind. You were watching me, yes? What did you think? Have I truly come far, as Mrs. Nashmeira says? And you will go even further. So you're saying there's still room for improvement, eh? Well, consider the challenge accepted. I'll train harder than ever, and next time we meet, you'll see what I'm truly capable of. In any event, this I know more than ever. Dancing is my life, my calling. I must continue to perfect my craft, that I might inspire and bring hope to others, just as Mr. Nashmeira and you have inspired me. The answer is clear to me now. I may not be the leader she was, but I will be the leader I know I can be. Good. Thank you for everything, Desiree. I must return to Limsa and relay the news to Mr. Nashmeira. You will join me there, won't you? Sure I will, Ranaa. After all, that's what the quest demands. Breathe, Ranaa. Breathe. Ranaa here came dashing into town half out of breath. I can only assume what this means. The girl has found her answer, has she not? You bet I have. I may not be ready to fill your toe shoes completely, but damned if I'm not going to try. Leave a tour of Kurganet to me. I'm proud of you, Ranaa. Now, go and tell the others that you must begin preparations at once. I will be along with Desiree shortly. While I'm beyond pleased with the results, I must admit I did not expect the girl to reach a decision so quickly. Whatever did you do to bring about her change of heart? We danced together. So it was not the words, but through your actions that you spoke to the girl? Indeed, it is as I thought. Your very presence is as a mirror that helps those around you discover their true selves. In any event, Ranaa owes much to you, my friend. As do I. Troupe Falsiam is stronger for you having joined us. Come now, let us return to the others. To think the girl I thought of as a little sister would one day lead Troupe Falsiam. This will take some getting used to. Look at all those surprised faces. Not that I can blame them, of course. I cannot say I was prepared for this. And yet, if this is how Mistress Nashmeira would have it, it is far from my place to oppose. Besides, nothing in this world can last forever. With the end of one era comes the beginning of the next, and all of us here welcome Mistress Ranaa's reign. We will do all in our power to see that Troupe Falsiam continues to flourish under her stewardship. Kulut, my friends, you're too kind. Let us not forget that we are all in this together. If we move forward as one, there's no limit to the heights we may reach. Yeah. And with that, we must prepare to set sail without delay. In Kurgana too, there are those whose spirits sag. We must bring them hope, as only Troupe Falsiam can. I too should be getting on. The Totentanz threatens to return in hidden corners of the realm, and I must train the next generation of dancers to continue our fight. And you have your own adventures to return to, don't you, Desiree? But don't be sad. Mistress Nashmeira, you and I, even if we go our separate ways, we will always be united by our passion for dance. Our paths will cross again, I'm certain. And on that day, you'll be simply astonished at the dancer I've become. Mark my words. I look forward to it. And so to you, my rival, my friend, I say not farewell, but rather keep dancing until we might once again take the same stage. No friends of mine. Now. I don't know where Mistress Nashmeira is now. I think we can still find her somewhere in Limsa. But I'm not entirely certain. However, I know where we can find Ranaa. As she said, she's in Kurgane. Here on the bridge. Oh, Desiree, aren't you a sight for sore eyes in these far-flung lands? I trust you're still dancing up a storm these days? How very late. These are dark times, but the show at the Mushikosa goes on, and so I continue to take the stage and dance. Of course, I worry for my homeland of Razatan. The people of Kugarnet too require succor. If my dancing can keep spirits high amidst all the uncertainty, then I have done my duty as a dancer. Besides, rumor about town has it that you've been something of a regular presence in Fafnir of late. So it was true, thank you Desiree. Knowing that I would continue to do what I can for those around me, taking comfort in knowing that my home is in good hands. Can you tell me what is a dancer? What a curious question, why a dancer is what I am, and you are for that matter. Oh, but perhaps you wish to review the history of our art? Very well. Dancers are the shining stars of Troupe Falsiam, that's us. We are the proud inheritors of a Kriegstanz, an ancient form of dance, they say dates even before the founding of Razatan. Can you believe it? The origins of our art are shrouded in mystery, but there's one thing we know for sure. We are equally at home in battle as we are on the stage. With one motion we strike at our foes, with the next we lift the spirit of our friends, helping them find strength and courage even when they're staring death in the face. And so it's our calling to travel the realm, bringing hope and cheer to the downtrodden and the suffering. And yet, our true mission goes even deeper than that, as we learn that Mr. Nashmeira shared with us a long-kept secret. For ages, we dancers have been soldiers on the front lines in the battle against the unholy force we know as the Totentanz. In times of calamity and strife, when people are at their wits' end, the Totentanz lurks in the shadows, just waiting to pounce and prey upon poor and unfortunate souls. It's not my area of expertise, but Collude tells me that pangs of anger and sorrow that men feel cause a reaction somehow with the aether in the air, causing the darkness in their hearts to spread to those around them. Before they know it, they've lost control of both body and mind, flailing about violently. I've heard horrific tales of men who trampled their best friends or wrenched their own limbs off. This is a threat that you and I faced with Mr. Nashmeira's aid. Fortunately, we were able to dispel the shadows before any of the people of Eorzea suffered such a terrible fate. Since then, we have been flooded with requests from those wishing to join our ranks, and so Mr. Nashmeira entrusted the role of principal to yours truly, so that she could stay behind and train the next generation of dancers in Eorzea. While the threat of a Totentanz can never be truly eliminated, not as long as fear and resentment still fester in the hearts of men, I can safely say Troupe Falsiam is better equipped than ever to deal with the menace. Good. Then let's look hopeful into the future. And so far this was all of the job quests. Maybe one day if they find some way to continue these stories in some fashion. But until next time then, amaze and don't get lost.